Hey everyone, so this is going to be a quick behind the scenes video for the entire process of how I make videos. So the first step in making a video is always just coming up with the idea. Normally I already have these ideas, but this time I'm going to be doing the Jeremy Cat story video, which I actually got from an audience member. So shout out to Piplupcola for recommending the idea. Thanks to you, we're making this video. Alright, so now comes the planning part and the writing part of the video. So I'll have my Word doc open, and this is where everything starts. First thing I always want to do is put out the general layout of how I want to do the video, like the structure and stuff. And then after that, I will do just kind of laying out whatever ideas I have. Alright, so the next step after the brainstorming and ideas and stuff is research. This takes an incredibly long time, but because I watch Rooster Teeth stuff on a daily basis, I tend to already have an idea of where I want to look. So I know Jeremy's been talking about it a lot on Twitter, so I can just search up Scooter, Jeremy Dooley, Twitter, like that. And then already there's like a ton of stuff like here. Next, it looks like this one's a really good one. Tonight marks 2 weeks since Scooter's been gone. This is really good. Stuff like this is really great, like Twitter and stuff, because they date it right here. Yeah, so you can see it says April 8th, 2021. This is really good because I can piece together a timeline using these dates. Alright, so here's another resource that I like to use, and that's Reddit. It doesn't always have to be Reddit, but usually Reddit is really good about this. So someone posted on the subreddit the update from Jeremy's Twitter, but if you look at the comments, first comment is, for anyone interested, Jeremy talked a little bit about it on his stream. And then it links to the stream here. Yep, here you go. So this is really great because I haven't watched everything. I'm not much of a stream person, so I don't watch streams and stuff, but someone else did, and then they linked to it. So I don't need to go search that up. Someone already did it for me, which is really, really great. So that's usually how I find my sources, is I just simply like Google them, and then sometimes I get help from the communities to do stuff like this. So if you've ever posted comments like this on Reddit, chances are I probably used it. Okay, so I've looked through and compiled a huge list of candidate sources that I think are going to give me the info that I need to make this video. So these are my sources right here. I have my list. I'm just going to start working through them. Okay, so I'm listening to the podcast, and while I do that, on my other monitor, I am playing RuneScape. Just going for 90 Herblore on my Iron 1 account so I don't have to boost for super combats or anything like that. So this part of the video making process is super chill because literally all I'm doing is just watching like podcasts and interviews and listening and stuff. So it's super chill. It's just that it's really, really long. Like it takes a really long time, like I don't know, 20, 30 hours of watching stuff. It's super, super long. So I'll usually do something else, like a chill game in the background while I search for info or something I can use, like that. Okay, so I've found something that I can use. This right here is Jeremy and Kat's podcast, and the title is How We Found Scooter. So of course there's going to be stuff here that I can use. So I will show you how I record this information because I do have a system for it. So I'll create a list of sources and I'll assign 3 things to it. The first one is a number, so this is source number 1, a title, that's the title, and then the link. And then once I have my source numbered and everything, I'll go all the way back up. This has to do with losing Scooter, and then I'll type in the information that I need. So that was the information that Jeremy and Kat shared, and that's source. So what I do afterwards is to sort of log it, is I'll in brackets put the source number, which is source number 1, and then the timestamp that I found it in, which was 3 minutes in. Like that, just like that. So this is what I do. Every bit of information I always put the timestamp and then the corresponding number for the source. This way I can be like, okay, this exact piece of information comes from source number 1, which is the Jeremy and Kat video, the Jeremy and Kat podcast, which I can see right here. And oh, here's the link right here, so I can access it really easily. This makes it really easy to source my information, and just in case anyone in the comments asks for where I got a piece of information, I can easily just give them the link and then the exact timestamp to where I found it. I created this system because when I was doing my psych degree, I had to do a lot of research essays, which involved lots of reading academic papers as sources. So I always had to stay organized and create like a system to keep track of where exactly I was getting all my information and source it and cite it properly because it's university. So if I didn't, I would get expelled for plagiarism. Okay, so it's been a while and I've worked through all my sources. I'm gonna be honest, this one kind of made me tear up a bit But I finally finished, and I've got all this raw information. It's really long, and it's super disorganized and out of order. And there's also just a ton of random ideas that I threw out there, just in like my flurry of ideas. So I need to shorten it and make it flow like an actual story. So I'll get back once I've done that. Okay, so I've condensed it down, formed it into a story, and I've also cut a ton of stuff out. Like this little bit of info right here where Jeremy said that the Scooter Skipper 9000 wasn't the first trap that they had done, because they had laid a bunch of traps before, but since they were all too small, they were worried that Scooter wouldn't go in there because there wasn't enough space for him. So this is an interesting bit of info, but it's not super important to the story, so I'm okay with cutting it out. But now I'm done with the script, so time to start recording. Okay, so before I do any audio recording, I always do some vocal warm-ups to help improve the sound of my voice and make my voice sound a bit more flexible. So I use this one. It's the 5-minute vocal warm-up by Jacob's Vocal Academy. It was March of 2021 in Massachusetts, and it was a normal day in the life of Jeremy. Fuck me. It was March of 2021 in Massachusetts, and it was a normal day in the life of little Jay. He was in his office, doing some work, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, so it's been a couple hours, and I finished all the recording, and now I have all this raw audio that I can work with and edit down. So I usually take like 3 takes of each line just to make sure I have wiggle room, and then I'll take whichever one I like the most. Okay, so it's been a couple hours. I am officially done with the audio editing. I cleaned it up and all that stuff. So now we're gonna do music. Because copyright and royalties are such a big issue, I usually pick from select artists that I know are okay with people using their music in videos, generally, such as Joaquin Karud, LEMMiNO, Silent Partner, and one of my favorites, which is RYYZN or RYYZN. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce their name, but I love these guys. Their songs are so good. But you need to remember to be careful about which music you use. Even if some artists say that they're okay with it, sometimes it may not be. Okay, so for the keyframe animations I do, you know those little animations that I do in my videos, I always draw storyboards on my tablet beforehand so I can get an idea of how I want to frame the shot and what pictures and backgrounds I'll need and all that kind of stuff. So I have some ideas. Like I have this really funny one for Jeremy. So I will start off by drawing a shot. And then say for example I'm doing a conversation between Kat and Jeremy. I'll draw Kat like this. So there's Kat, and then I'll just draw Jeremy, and he'll just be like a head on the bottom, like that. Because you know, he's little J. So I think this is what I'm gonna do. Every time Jeremy has a shot with someone, he'll just be like this short little head on the side. So I really love making subtle jokes like this and using editing to make subtle jokes like this. So I will come back once I've done all the storyboards. Okay, so it's been a bit and I'm done all the basic storyboards. So I will show you this one as an example. So this is the storyboard for the bathroom section, which is where Scooter realizes he's home. So here I have an idea of what shots to use and how I want to organize them. And I can also see what I need to get, like which pictures I need to get. So for example, with this first shot, I need a picture of a bathroom for the background, and then a picture of Scooter in a cage right here. And then I also need pictures of arms. And then say for this one, I need a picture of a bathroom, specifically with a cabinet. So I either need to find a picture of a bathroom with a cabinet or Photoshop it in. Then I need a picture of Scooter from the front, and then a picture of Scooter from the back. And then, say for this is one of the last shots of the scene. I'm gonna need another shot of a bathroom, so I need multiple angles of a bathroom, and then a back shot of Scooter or a tabby cat, and then a front picture of Jeremy, and then a front picture of Kat. So this is just one, and then multiply this by however many times I'm gonna be doing this throughout the video. So you can see that there's a lot that I need to do, but doing this really helps me stay organized and puts all my ideas on paper so I can remember all of this stuff. So some of you may ask if I went to school for any kind of production, and the answer is no. All of this stuff is self-taught. I have absolutely no background in film, so all this stuff is me learning how to frame shots, learning which part should go where, and learning how to lead the viewer's eyes around. So every video is basically a lesson in itself where I learn a new skill, or I learn a new editing method, or I learn a new way to write the story or whatever. So every time I make one of these, it's an opportunity to learn and improve and to make the next one better. So regular editing is super easy because it's just stitching clips together, but it just takes a while because I try to use relevant clips. So for this one, I'm going to be using this bit of dialogue. So they immediately got into their car and bolted to Dan's place. So this one talks about how they bolted over to Dan's place in their car. So I think a funny clip to use would be this one with Jeremy and the lads' action cab. So I will just place that right here, scale the frame size, and then we can see what it looks like. So they immediately got into their car and bolted to Dan's place. So that right there looks pretty funny. So I usually have an idea for some kind of visual gag using clips, and because I watch so much Rooster Teeth content, I usually already know which videos to look for to get certain clips. So this can take a while because I'm not just mindlessly stitching clips together. I'm trying to think of relevant clips and funny ones that I can use to try to make some visual jokes. Okay, so now is the hard part of the editing, which are these little animations that I make using keyframe editing. So I do need to say that I'm not the first one to do this, because I got the inspiration to make these things from Funhouse and Internet Historian, which are two YouTube channels that I really love. So I'm not the first one to do this. Just want to point that out. So I will show you how I make one of these. Alright, so here's a bit of dialogue that I'm going to make an animation for, right here. Every night, Jeremy and Scooter had a routine where they would sleep next to each other. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be animating. So for this, I'm planning to just have Jeremy playing some video games right here, and then Scooter popping up behind him like the previous scene that I showed you. So just a simple one. So I need to place everything to build the scene. So I'll just put all the important stuff, like here's Jeremy, Scooter right here, and then the extra stuff like the monitor and the chair, like that. So Jeremy, I'm just gonna place right here, and then Scooter just behind him right there. And then the monitor obviously goes in front like this. So you need to think about like your depth and your perspective rather, so that you can kind of tell where each element should go. So the monitor should be right here because Jeremy's looking at the monitor. And then the chair will be all the way behind Jeremy, like this. And then I can place it behind everything just to see how it looks. And yep, that looks pretty good to me. So now that I have everything in place, I'll need to actually make this stuff move. So for this one, it's really simple because I'm just gonna make Scooter pop up from behind Jeremy. So here's how I do it. I bring Scooter up to the front right here so I can easily manage him. And then I will select Scooter because that's who I want to edit. And then I'll go up to the top right, I'll click Effect Controls, like that. And here what I'm going to be controlling is the position controls. This is what I'm going to be editing. So I'll pick a spot in the timeline somewhere here. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place a keyframe right here. Because this keyframe is here, that means that at this exact point in time in the video, Scooter is going to be in this position. So at this time, Scooter is going to be in this position. So I'll scroll a couple seconds ahead, and then I'll, at this, maybe around here, just to test it out, I will then drag Scooter to where I want him to be later, which is just over Jeremy's shoulder right here, and then set a keyframe right there. So what this means is that now that this keyframe is here, and this exact point in time and this exact point in the timeline, Scooter will now be in this position. So that means that because these two keyframes are here, Scooter will move between these two positions in these 2 points of time on the timeline, like that. So I'll just test it out, see how it looks. So there, now what I can do is I can adjust the timing of it. I think I want it to be a bit faster, so I'll just drag them a bit closer so that they're faster, like that. I think I'm pretty okay with the way that looks, so I'm going to drag Scooter all the way back down to where he's supposed to be, and like here. Let's see how it looks. Yep, I like the way that looks. So I'm just gonna set it right there, just to give you an idea of how complicated this can get. If you look at the timeline right here, this is how many objects there are when it's a very simple scene. So there's 5 right here. And then I'll scroll a bit over to the left, and you can see right here a more complicated version of it. This is what a complicated version looks like. Look at how much crap is on this timeline right here. There's a lot, so it can get quite complicated, and it's very time consuming. So now I'll show you an example of when a person is talking. So the way I do it is it's the exact same thing, except it's much more tedious because I have to bring the picture up and then bring the picture down and then bring the picture up and then bring the picture down and then do that like 50 times, and then that's how you get a talking scene. So it takes a very long time and is super dry and boring. So what they did was they brought him to the bathroom to isolate him. And when they opened the cage, he immediately ran out and jumped on the sink. But then he did something really interesting. He looked up at the cabinet in their bathroom because something about that cabinet seemed familiar to him. Because that cabinet was the spot that Scooter always jumped on to sit in. It was his spot. and he just started staring at it. And he was like, wait, is that my spot? Am I home? And he turned around and was like, Jeremy? Kat? Is that you? Okay, so it's December 29th and it's upload time. So I've exported the video from Premiere and now it's uploading to YouTube. So when I upload, I always put a few things first. Number one is the little blurb thing, just right here. And then next is the sources, super important. Always make sure to source your stuff. And then the music that I used. And then I also like to credit the clips. Okay, here's the thumbnail. So I usually do the same style of thumbnail every time just to stay consistent so people know what my uploads look like. And then no, this is not made for kids. So here is the checks. So the checks, what they do is it's an auto scan for any potential monetization or copyright issues. So it's a good idea to not really do anything with these videos until you get check marks from both. So I'll just leave this in the background while I lie down or play video games or something because I'm super tired. So you can see how it's interesting that we started with an idea and only an idea, and then through the process we created a finished produced video. So hopefully you can see what it's like, and maybe you can get a better appreciation for these videos and for your favorite YouTubers, because as you can see, making videos takes a lot of work. And I also hope that some of you see this and maybe want to try it yourself. It can seem super intimidating, but you know, I just started as some random Rooster Teeth fangirl with an idea for a channel, and now here I am. I hope you guys like this cheeky little behind the scenes. Let me know what kind of stuff you want to see more of. Bye!